late 2010, the demand for oil had exceeded production. Prior to its occurrence, the moment of peak oil was unknown. After it took place, it was abundantly clear. For over a century, oil powered a phenomenal growth in economy and population. Its depletion caused a global lack of food, medicine, and sanitation. In the decades following this peak, fatalities were in the billions. In the early 21st century, countries began waging wars for the last energy resources. The main instigator was the United States of America, whose oil production peaked in 1971. Initially using a war on terror, later renamed the Long War. For motivation, the United States government invaded countries containing the last remaining oil reserves, aided by other oil-dependent countries such as the UK. There were not enough alternative energy sources to take the place of the declining finite fuels. To meet the needs of mankind, renewable energy needed to increase to 100%. For the UK, that meant a 96% increase. For Japan, 95%. For the United States, 92.6%. The reality was that alternative energies were reliant on advanced technology, requiring materials transported and developed using fossil fuels. The U.S. during the Long War prevented numerous unsupporting countries using nuclear fission for fear of possible weapons development.
Stage 1.
Nuclear fuel begins by firstly mining uranium ore.
Stage 2.
Once extracted, the ore is purified and then heated at 230 degrees centigrade, forming a highly reactive gas known as uranium hexafluoride.
Stage 3.
The gas is then enriched of its U-235 isotopes. Uranium for the nuclear reactor must contain 2 to 3% U-235.
Potential. Stage 4.
Uranium with 90% plus U-235 can be converted to uranium metal ingots, used for an uranium bomb.
Stage 4.
The uranium formed into rods are housed in a pressurized chamber, and a fissile reaction is caused, producing energy.
Stage 5.
The used rods are reprocessed by dipping them in hot nitric acid, producing 96% uranium, 3% highly radioactive waste, and 1% plutonium.
Potential. Stage 6.
The plutonium can be used to create a plutonium bomb.
No oil meant no medicine, no food storage, no pesticides, no plastics, no banks, no transportation, no alternative energy, no advanced technology, no communication, and no national defense.
Surviving peak oil required little investment. Survivors were those who 1. Adopted survival mentalities, having a positive approach to situations. 2. Improved health, making them less reliant on medication and able to perform more physical tasks. 3. Avoid debt, learning to live on less, cutting out non-essentials, distinguishing between desire and need. 4. Are well located, owning a household for shelter and warmth, owning land for crops and water, relocating to areas of benefit. 5.
Preparation is 75% mental. Mankind had to acknowledge that living conditions would continue to deteriorate for oil-dependent countries. Some countries coped differently to those involved in the Long War. Sweden was a country that invested in becoming oil-free in less than a decade from Hubbard's peak and is one of the strongest nations to date, with a prosperous economy in which conditions continue to improve.